It is a holiday week in Pittsburgh, and what better holiday tidings are there than a little bit of a sibling rivalry? Tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers lock up yet again. For the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers, it is a matchup they know all too well, yet somehow it is the first time that they are playing to bring in the Christmas break for these two franchises in over 50, almost 60 years of these two teams playing against one another. It's going to be a fun matchup. Pretty much everybody on both broadcasts wearing their ugly Christmas sweaters, probably punctuated by if Elf's mall scene had an ugly Christmas sweater from Haley Hunter for the Penguins broadcast. And it'll be a fun night. Game number 35 for the Philadelphia Flyers, 36 for the Penguins. These two teams, identical records. Well, down to the Penguins having one more overtime loss. Both teams 15-15. For the Flyers, it's 4 overtime losses. The Penguins 5. It's been a weird season for both teams. For the Penguins, it seemed like it was all going to fall apart quickly. They did not have a good first 6 weeks of the season. After making a couple of moves, though, most notably Philip Tomasino, it seems like the offense has started to finally find their footing again. While for the Philadelphia Flyers, it is a season of growth and a season of change. You're trying to get used to some new pieces in the lineup, one of which is a former Penguin in Ryan Poehling. And let's get the lines here. When it comes to returns, though, I mentioned the Flyers have a former Penguin who's in his first year with the team, that being Ryan Poehling. The Penguins reacquired Pierre-Olivier Joseph on Saturday, for future considerations. POJ, as he is affectionately known, a Black Ace during the 2020 bubble season, played as a part of the Penguins' defense the last 3 years. Now has figured into the defense again after starting the season off with St. Louis. So a pretty decent return. I have a feeling the fans are absolutely going to love it. With that, let's get to our starting lines for tonight. For the Philadelphia Flyers, their forward lines look like this. Owen Tippett, Morgan Frost, and Travis Konechny. Up front, it was Couturier centering practice, but they're going to move him down. Couturier, a big factor against the Penguins. Konechny leading the Flyers in points with 40 on the season. Leader in goals of either team with 16. Owen Forrester, Morgan Cates, and Owen Brink playing in his first matchup of the Battle of Pennsylvania, their second line. Joel Farabee, Sean Couturier, and Matvei Michkov, the Russian sharpshooter with 11 goals on the season. Line 3. Line 4, Scott Laughton, who's had a couple back-breaking late goals against the Penguins before. Ryan Poehling, the former Penguin and former Washington Capital grinder, Garnet Hathaway. Defensively, Cam York and Travis Sanheim. Philip Zamula, Rasmus Ristolainen, Nick Seeler, and Jamie Drysdale. And while York and Sanheim have been the consistent pairing for the Flyers this year, it's really been the job of John Tortorella to try and find who works in that bottom four. It's been an arduous 3 seasons trying to figure out who's going to work well with Rasmus Ristolainen. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, Rickard Rakell, Sidney Crosby, and Brian Rust, the lucky sevens on top. Michael Bunting, Evgeny Malkin, and Cody Glass. Bunting and Glass have both had 8 points each since being paired with Malkin 3 weeks ago. Anthony Beauvillier, Drew O'Connor, and Philip Tomasino. Tomasino's offense has given the third line a burst. Beauvillier has 3 more assists on this line in the same amount of time that he did playing with Rakell and Crosby. Fourth line, Matt Nieto, who finally got his first goal of the year on the Penguins' road trip to Canada against Montreal. Blake Lizotte, who is giving an energetic spark to that fourth line. And Noel Acciari, the defensive rock of the forward core. Defensively, POJ coming back to Pittsburgh, paired with Chris Letang. Matt Grzelcyk and Erik Karlsson on pairing 2, and they're going full defense on the third pair, Ryan Shea and Ryan Graves. Big injury for either team lingering in this game is Marcus Pettersson. He's going to be week to week for the Pittsburgh Penguins with a lower body injury. Pettersson was supposed to be the two-way rock of the defense, and even though his puck movement had slowed compared to the last 2 seasons, he was still dependable enough where he was a net positive defensively. Here are goaltenders for the night. In his 7th matchup against the Philadelphia Flyers, Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And in his first start against the Flyers, Sam Erston. Now, here's the thing with these two goaltenders. It's going to be a tale of how they play defense in front of them tonight. You're really going to be looking for those second pairs, which is probably why Zamula got put with Ristolainen, to try and kind of limit the opportunities allowed by the Philadelphia Flyers, because the Penguins' top 6, they can always bring it. Especially Malkin and Crosby. Crosby actually has the most points against the Philadelphia Flyers with 154 of any player against the Flyers in their 58-year history. You can see the rest of your scores for the night on the bottom of the screen, both NHL, NBA. I tried to get the bowl games to work, but nothing wanted to work with me tonight. Right now is the point of the awkward silence where I can't play like the actual audio, because Penguins are not only doing their Christmas activities right now, but it's also the appearance of Jeff Jimerson, which longtime Penguins fans know what that means. It's time for the anthems in the Steel City. Interesting stat line finally thrown up there. This one actually coming from CSN Philly as opposed to Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Since Rust has come back from injury, everyone on that line has 14 points. The Lucky Sevens line. And that's just since November 27th was when Rust, after a concussion, came back to start the season on that top line. 14 points for Crosby, 14 points for Raquel, of course, different splits, 7 each goals and assists for Sid, 8 goals, 6 assists for Raquel. However, Brian Rust has outdone them all. A point a game, 8 goals and 9 assists in those 17 games. I do not want that to play. Yeah, I'm trying to get the game to work. Because it seems the couple places I've found are just playing. Oh, there we go. Yep, event blacked out, like no matter what I use. Huh. This is going about as well as I could have wanted. There we go. Essentially just had to. Okay, I'll take it. Both goalies with a 7-5-2 record on the season. Sam Ersson with an 881 save percentage coming off a 21 save win against the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday. Tristan Jarry with an 898 save percentage on the season coming off a win against Montreal. Malkin lines up for the draw against Cates, and we're underway in Pittsburgh. Left side wall, trying to go for the puck. It's a four-player logjam for it. Eventually gets jabbed out into the Penguin zone. Owen Tippett's on it for the Flyers. Shadowing him is Erik Karlsson, who lost his stick. Back behind the net. Play attempt by Brink. Doesn't quite find his man. Tippett on that third line instead of, it should be Forrester. But, oh well, it's going to be a feeling out process. No Kevin Hayes for the Penguins, former Flyer. No Ryan, and again, as mentioned, no Marcus Pettersson either. Then it rolls by two Penguins back into the left point, and it's caught by Tristan Jarry. Left point shot there from Zamula. Mike Sullivan, 10 years with the Pittsburgh Penguins, has a playoff series win over the Flyers in 2018 and a Stadium Series win in 2017, but it comes at the cost of dropping a Stadium Series game in 2019 to the Flyers. John Tortorella, third year with Philadelphia, but far from a stranger to this team and division. Former coach of the New York Rangers and Columbus Blue Jackets before this job. Penguins win the draw to the right side of Jarry. It's going to be wound around by Joseph, knocked down at the right point by the Flyers, and the Penguins just can't clear it unless the Flyers clear it themselves. Zamula was stuffed by Raquel trying to make a play happen at the right point. Letang back to the right corner behind Jarry. He's going to play it to Rust, who's going to go ahead for Crosby. Crosby trying to cut his way out to the left wing side. Gets tripped up. No call. I'm going to say Crosby toe-picked there. Right wing at the bottom of the circle is Rust. Crosby. Right half wall shot. Scored! Brian Rust. And again, the lucky sevens line just kept producing. And it's a 1-0 Pittsburgh lead. Well, it was a chunk play by the Flyers at one end that led to this process for the Penguins. And Raquel just was waiting there below the goal line. He's the one that actually got it to Crosby. And Crosby just found open ice over to Rust, and the Penguins struck first. Off the draw, Noel Acciari with a head of steam to the left wing. Had to be stopped at the goal line by Travis Sanheim. Left point, Lizotte chopped in, but it did clear the blue, so it would have been offsides if the Penguins touched it. Couturier bringing it in at the right side. Rather, right side, it's played by York. Couturier tried to go from the goal line. That one hits the outside of the cage and ramps into the back netting. Mitchkov was behind the net, almost in what's known as the Gretzky's office spot, right behind Tristan Jarry, trying to make something happen with Couturier. Rust's 15th of the year from Crosby and Raquel at 1:29 of the first. Face-off won by the Flyers, and a rolling puck slowly goes in front to where it can be swept away by the Penguins' defense. Lizotte to the right wing. Acciari trying to clear it. Nothing doing there, so it goes end over end from about halfway between the blue line and the center line for the Penguins. Another attempted chunk, and that one goes knocked down by Sanheim. Flyers try to play it in, and at least they do get Scott Lawton back there to beat out any prospective icing call. Penguins trying to bring it up right wing side. It's Anthony Beauvillier. Speaking of no stranger to this division, former Islander. 4 players hacking away for the puck, make it 5. 3 Flyers and 2 Penguins. It's Drew O'Connor that eventually digs it out for Pittsburgh. And they're going to keep the attack on behind the Flyers net. O'Connor trying to box out former Penguin Ryan Poehling. Right point, Carlson missed the net, trying to go for a friendly bounce. Instead, it was not so friendly for the Pens as it came to Garnet Hathaway, the former Capital. O'Connor still trying his best to kind of box out Sanheim to the right of Ersson. And then eventually rolls to Hathaway, but he can't clear it. That one's going to be blocked from the left wing circle. I believe it was Carlson that pinched up. No, yeah, it was Carlson. And now he has to hurry back as a pass from the center line trying to hit the blue for the Flyers went nowhere. Instead, this one does go Pittsburgh's way. Cody Glass waiting for reinforcement. Glass centering, missed the net, off a Flyer, and into the netting. I think we've had about as many blocked shots as we have had attempted, or as we've had shots on goal. 2 shots on net for the Flyers, 1 for Pittsburgh. Face off. Malkin tying up with Frost on the draw. Penguins eventually get it. Cody Glass rolling puck for Bunting, but it's chopped away by Rasmus Ristolainen, and the Flyers try and get a 2-on-2, but can't get the angles. So they have to chip and chase, and that's where Forrester comes into play. Right point stuffed off the foot of Glass, who has the puck now from Malkin. Pinching in offensively is Letang. Letang back to Malkin, left point. Letang playing keep away. Carlson, wrister. Save made by Erson. In the middle of the moves, got there with the right pad. Bunting went back for Letang, and it's just almost pitchforked away by Forrester. Carlson back at his own blue line, trying to make a pass through center for Rust happen. And okay. At least on my end, a little bit of signal downtime with Sportsnet Pittsburgh, but puck didn't go in, so you didn't miss much, evidently. Trying to clear it around is Harrison. Crosby knocked it down at the right wing wall. At the right wing circle, Russ trying to bring some help, and it goes under the stick of Carlson at the point. And Tippett doing a pretty good job defensively to keep Matt Grzelcyk from any exit strategy. That one's going to be played ahead to the right wing side. And it's a solid, second and a half off in terms of the audio on my end after the goal. So that's going to be something the Penguins have to fix during the next break, whenever that may be. Left wing side, rolling puck for Lizotte. Tried to get a very sharp angle shot away, but it was kicked away by a Flyers defender. No, that wasn't even a Flyers defender. That was Noah Cates. A little bit of crashing and bashing. Ryan Graves, a little dazed after colliding with Sean Couturier along the Flyers' left wing on their offensive entry. Went for a reverse hit, and it was a good hit, too. He stayed low on Graves. Just seemed a little dazed after it. Penguins trying desperately. I can tell you one thing. There has been no recent basketball here as that one rolls in front for a goal. Zamula takes advantage of the rather lackluster ice, and Penguins and Flyers falling on top of each other to tie the game at 1. Let's see what happened here. It rolls off Travis Konechny. And again, another couple log jams of players. And Zamula just ripped it high glove side, and it fit under the crossbar. Igor Zamula, only his second goal of the year, and if that's not somewhat befitting of the Penguins' luck in some of these games, I don't know what is. It always seems to be the guys that can't hit the broadside of a barn that end up getting it past one of their goaltenders. Doesn't matter who it is. It just seemed like they're snake bitten with that the last few seasons. Flyers try and get some form of entry going with a long pass from Scott Lawton that doesn't hit anything except a skate of a Penguin, so no icing. Flyers get the puck back, have to reset in their own end in front of Ersson. Cam York drop pass back. Owen Tippett goes ahead and a great pass in front and a kick save by Jarry with the right pad. Penguins trying to hit a home run pass to Crosby. I believe it was Joseph who was trying to send it there. Only 7 minutes in, we already have a 1-1 game. Penguins, 1 goal on 1 shot. Flyers, 1 goal on 3. Carlson up to the right side. Rust, Crosby, pitchforks it out for Raquel, who scores. Make it 2 for 2. Ricard Raquel, and this line has 2 goals, 1 from Rust, 1 from Raquel. It's another play caused by a slip in the ice, this time by a Flyer. I believe it was Noah Cates. It was either Cates or Konechny who fell down right in front of Rust, so they couldn't get positioning to chip it away. And this one's going to be Ricard Raquel's marker. Hold on.
Going to get a challenge here. Philadelphia is using the coach's challenge to challenge the...
Tortorella and some of his assistants believe it's offsides. They think the puck followed Raquel into the zone, and we're going to have to watch here. Rust chops it in, right foot, right foot. The issue with the camera where it is, at least for Sportsnet, for Pittsburgh's broadcast, is that you can't tell where the puck is. And the call on the ice was that it was a good goal. If you have a camera from the other side, offsides, no goal. Finally, after they already made the call, we finally get a camera angle from the opposite side. That's why they have the cameras atop the tall glass behind the benches for each team. And pretty clear by about a foot, maybe a foot and a half, that Raquel was offside. He was trying his best to drag the right foot in, but space is space. So that goal doesn't count. Finally, have the scoring summary on Zamula's marker, but that's for when play is completely blown dead. Lawton trying to play it up the left side for the Flyers. Still keeps it in a little at the blue line. It's going to be turned around. Jari feigned playing it, but instead lets it roll. Cody Glass trying to move it along for the Penguins. And he does, but there is nobody to kind of help plan another attack. So the Flyers have to take it and just throw it back in themselves. That was Jamie Drysdale with the chip and chase. Penguins look to go blue to blue, but the stick of Achari was lifted there, so nothing doing. Bringing it ahead is York. Nothing really. It almost seems like the offsides goal or the offside calls just kind of sucked a bit of the energy out of the building, and both teams are trying to figure out how to go back through it. The puck's been pretty much stuck in their own ends of the ice, and a friendly bounce for the Penguins about went in. It was rolling on its side for Matt Nieto. Again, he got his first goal in almost 330 days against Montreal last week. Left wing, Noel Achari, who's driven a lot of the play of this fourth line tonight with Nieto and Lizotte, had it cut off there by Farabee, who cleared that one in. Farabee, not Couturier, got that. Like trying to look through an N64 game sometimes. I don't know what's going on, if that's the Penguins truck or just what I'm watching, but it has not been it's not been good. And a great move there for the Flyers. Morgan Frost coming in as a step and a kick save by Tristan Jarry. He had the angle on Graves, and it almost worked. 3-on-2. Beauvillier with a shot. Caught by Erson. And being shoved into his own goaltender is Zamula, and that draws a crowd. O'Connor hard charging, looking for the rebound. Couldn't get there before Erson had it clamped down. Morgan Frost hit a stride, rather on Grzelcyk, not Graves. We have our first break. It's tied at 1. Back to play face-off. Won by the Penguins. Shot for Letang. Stopped. Rebound Raquel. Stopped. Crosby behind the net looking to get it to Russ. But it was cut off by Ristolainen and cleared. Again, this top line just giving the Penguins a lot of offensive boost that they have not had much to this point in the season. Cleared down the ice by the Flyers. Lawton's going to have the step on Letang, so no icing. Raquel's going to get this one as a 2-on-2, almost 3-on-2, but Crosby was about 2 strides behind. That's rather unusual unless he thinks he can make a play from the other end of the ice. Ryan Shea back on the Penguins' defensive line there. Hits Michael Bunting, who tries to go on the wide play around for Glass, but doesn't get the bounce that Pittsburgh wants. Up the left side, passing attempt clears off or ramps off of Malkin's stick. And is Tyson Forrester over to the left side, getting prodded along by his numerical counterpart in Malkin. And Malkin's going to get the puck on a 3-on-3 for the Penguins. Goes across for Glass, left wing, centering. And Bunting had it knocked away by the stick of a Flyer. Collects it back. Penguins move it point to point. Shea, wrister, save, rebound. Bunting, open cage, and he missed the net. Bunting, Malkin, along with Brink and I believe Zamula going for the puck there. That's not Zamula, that's York going for the puck all at once. Nothing came of it. Malkin to Shea, right circle, looking for the deflection from Graves. And that went about as well as you would expect if you've watched either of them play. It didn't. It missed the net entirely, and the Penguins have to restart again. At least they get the benefit of a line change now, as Erik Karlsson's back there. Try to go for Raquel, and that one's going to go off the back wall to Ersson for a stoppage of play. Michael Bunting, about 7 or 8 inches more to the left, and that puck is in the net. Sidney Crosby with his 2 assists already, or with his assist on the first goal. The offsides is still playing with me now. Crosby, 2 assists shy of Mario Lemieux's record for the most assists in Penguin history. 1,033 was the mark from number 66. Crosby sits at 1031. A special number, I'm sure, for some Philadelphians somewhere. That one's going to be played through the middle. Rust has the puck off the deflection from Karlsson. Looks for Crosby off the heel of his stick. He tried to chop it to Raquel, but nothing went there. Karlsson to Rust. Right wing circle. Scored! Tic-tac goal. And it is 2-1 Pittsburgh, and that one will count. Ricard Raquel, he did make up for the offsides. He did make up for it. A couple failed clears after some great defensive collapsing low by the Flyers. And that was just a completely fanned shot. Raquel barely got it with the heel of his stick. And it still went in. This time it is Raquel's 16th goal of the season. And this time it is 2-1 Pittsburgh. No challenge from Tortorella. 8 minutes left here in the first period. Puck still sitting at the right side. Penguins, with the assistance of Blake Lizotte, did clear it, so the Flyers had to touch back up before pursuing defensively, which they do now with Letang playing keep away with Joseph. Pierre-Olivier Joseph has returned game to Pittsburgh, started the season with the St. Louis Blues. Flyers trying to play along the left side. Letang fell on the ball. You don't normally see Chris Letang get physical defensively. And again, if this is in the first period, this might be a pretty physical night. We already had a physical game between the Devils and the Rangers today, so we're used to it in this division. Penguins forecheck, trying to go in with a shoulder check. There was Achari, and now he's flying back on defense. Puck rolling for the Flyers. They couldn't quite settle it down. It was Farabee trying to get it in front. Left wing wall, sharp angle backhander from Owen Brink is knocked down with the shoulder. Rather, Garnet Hathaway knocked down with the shoulder of Jari. And the Penguins have numbers, 4-on-3. They have numbers, but not energy. So Anthony Beauvillier will just junk it in for a bit. Flyers go blue to blue, but it goes under one of their sticks to Erik Karlsson with a great move at center ice to bring the puck in. Malkin there at the left side has one of the Flyers shadowing him. That was Forrester shadowing him. They keep doing 71 on 71. Forrester on Malkin and vice versa. So I believe we have our shadowing of the night as the Penguins get away with a little bit of a cross-check to Forrester. I believe that was from Malkin. No call. Yes, they're just going to let him play tonight. Which, to be fair, for Penguins Flyers, probably better for everyone involved. 6 minutes left in the first. Ersson held onto it a lot behind his own net, but was able to shovel it in time to a defender. That was Ristolainen. Ristolainen tries to hit Frost at the blue line. It's knocked to the corner by Jari. Penguins trying to find some strategy on the right side for the Flyers defensively. That's not going to work. Home run pass would have been offsides, so the Flyers have to let it go for Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Up to Sidney Crosby, too shy of Lemieux's record in assists. Trying to get a backhander to go, and now more of the signal downtime as he was fighting Sanheim defensively. Maybe this is them fixing the audio desync. Still no goal, at least on that play, but we will have a hooking penalty. As soon as the link came back up, Rust got hooked, and the extra attacker is going to be Malkin. Rust to the right point, Letang. Rust in front, missed the net. Penguins still playing and controlling time until it gets into a sea of white. So what was that about letting them play? Going to be Travis Sanheim heading to the penalty box. Or no, it is Cam York that time heading to the box. 6 and 8 on the same shift. 2-1 Penguins power play after this break. So the penalty is going to be Cam York for tripping not tripping, hooking. Looking back at the replay, okay, so they did change it to holding during the break. Initially motion as a hook. But even then, looking at the replay, I don't quite see where the penalty on York is. I could see a case for holding on Couturier. I think they got the wrong guy. However, the Penguins' power play, ranked 13th in the league, goes to work. Raquel, Rust, Grzelcyk, shot, bunting, save, loose. Raquel, it's covered by Ersson. Raquel, Ristolainen, and Sanheim were trying their best to clear the crease. And if you're in orange and white, you were trying to let Ersson have a shot to play the puck. So the two other goals, Igor Zamula's second of the year from Ryan Poehling and Scott Laughton. There's your former Penguin point on the night. And Rickard Rakell's 16th from Brian Rust and Erik Karlsson. There's your scoring summary as Penguins head to the power play. penalty kill for Philadelphia is far better than their power play. 14th best in the league, because their power play, you talk about a slow start, it seemed like it was almost flooding the engine in the first month of this season. 80% penalty kill on the dot for the Flyers, 22.2% power play efficiency for the Penguins. As we're 30 seconds through the penalty, and the Flyers are able to clear the puck out at least to center. Raquel trying to swing it for Bunting, but between Bunting and Rust, no one knew who to took the puck or who to take the puck, and the Penguins just have to reset again. Jari waiting for Grzelcyk. Penguins' last 7 games, they have had 20 power plays and have scored on 5 of them. Right side, it's going to be Tomasino with it, trying to throw it in front for Malkin. Malkin taken in hard to the end wall by a couple Flyers. And no opportunity to play the puck there. Malkin back in front, still loose. No one there, though, in black to take care of it for the Pens. Carlson playing keep away with Tomasino. Graves, Malkin in front, scored! There's 3 on the night, Michael Bunting! Bunting and Tomasino, they both went down in front, and that's just a bad bounce. I don't even know if this is going to go to Bunting, because it seems like it goes off Zamula instead of Bunting and in the net. If it went off Zamula, then it's Malkin's goal. If not, then it's Bunting's. Either way, it's a power play marker, and the Penguins have taken a 3-1 lead off the power play. For now, it's going to be given to Bunting from Malkin and Crosby. 10:32 for Sid. Flyers trying to mount an assault in the Penguins' end. Trying everything to chop at it as Noah Cates, but couldn't get one. We're going to have a penalty here on the Flyers. Another one. This one's going to be a hold, as Tomasino started to get away from Owen Brink. It sits as Bunting's for now. Penguins up 3-1. .317 left in the first period, and again, no matter what on that goal, not only is it a power play goal, but Sidney Crosby moves 1 assist away from Mario Lemieux's mark for most assists in franchise history. And with this power play, he might just tie it here. Face-off won by the Penguins. Over point to point. Crosby, Letang, back to Bunting. Letang left wing circle. Down to Raquel, who's at the goal line. Left wing circle again, Letang. Penguins trying to fit a 1-3-1. Letang, it moves to a 2-3, right side, glove save. Letang didn't quite get there in time to hit the rolling puck. Flyers, stingy, but Penguins keep it in. Crosby right side in front. Going for the open net was Raquel, but it went under his stick. Penguins keep it in at left point again. Rust for Crosby, or rather Letang for Crosby. Bunting, right wing wall, Crosby. Centering pass was taken away, and the Flyers have a 3-on-1. It started by Scott Lawton. Lawton in front, shot, glove save by Tristan Jarry. And Jarry bats it down, and the Penguins have a 2-on-1 now. It's Crosby and Bunting. Crosby takes a shot, and he missed the net. Off the tall glass. Raquel, left wing, rolling puck, chopped it to Crosby. Crosby in front, Tomasino scores, and there's the tying mark. Tomasino for Sidney Crosby, assist number 1033, and it is a 4-1 Penguins lead. In ball hockey at both ends of the ice. And if the Flyers couldn't sink a shorthanded goal, he almost felt the Penguins had to put the power play one in. And this is still the first period. We still have just over 2 minutes left to play in the first period, and it's 4-1 Pittsburgh. Seemingly ruthless efficiency for the Penguins after the halfway mark of this period. Zamula up the right wing side. That one's going to be blocked in at the left point. Trying to knock it around his glass for the Penguins. Instead, it's going to be cleared out by Rasmus Ristolainen. Back to center for the Flyers. Off of Penguin sticks. Glass trying to get a stride. Cody Glass, backhand dropper, leaves it for Malkin at the right point. His attempt to find Matt Grzelcyk was stuffed by the Flyers' defense. Malkin corrals, tries to make a nice move around Couturier, but Couturier instead decided to lay the hip into Malkin. Shea back for Graves, left wing side, and that might be the hit that gets the Flyers back into this game. Nieto got bowled over in front of the Pittsburgh bench. And they almost got a 3-on-2 out of it. They're still threatening offensively. York down behind the net. His own tip at the former Panthers first rounder. To the right point. It's going to be played. Ristolainen looking low, but under the stick of Frost. Lizott's jabbing away at it as we get to 55 seconds left here in the first period. Left wing, back to the point. Shot goes off a couple feet and wide of the net. Lizotte plays it back. Penguins might be able to get out of this period by only giving up one. It has been an impressive first 20 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Ryan Shea trying to kill time, and he does. Gets it down to 30 seconds left. Raquel back behind the net, trying to Tanako and Brink off the puck. And the Penguins still keeping a foot on the gas. Crosby out there again. Every time he's out there, you got to mention him. Not only because is he still the premier player, but because of that record mark. He could break it with a 4th assist on this night. And the Penguins just seem content with running out the clock. 4-1 Pittsburgh after 20 minutes. Penguins with a confident first 20 minutes. 4 goals on 10 shots. The Flyers 1 on 9. 2 goals. Two goals on 2 power play attempts for the Penguins. While the Flyers didn't even get a single one. And Lights just... All right, so Sportsnet Pittsburgh cut back to have an interview with Kyle Dubas. Pittsburgh Penguins, they had a goal taken away due to a rather clear offsides, but Ricard Raquel got that one right back. There we go. On Sportsnet Pittsburgh, you get this dashing good looks of Phil Bork Jovi. So
And the key was, it would be great to see that.
here we go. Everything's finally fixed. 30 seconds into the period. Yay. Here come the Penguins up the left wing side. Michael Bunting trying to get the pass from Malkin, but it rolled off of his stick. Over left wing wall. Noah Cates trying to play it ahead for the Flyers. This is going great. Crosby missed the net.
The struggle brings you together, Borky. You would...
And everything on my end is crashing, apparently.
You would know this from your time, probably more so than even I. I think when I look back at the time in whether it's Sault Ste. Marie or Toronto, when the pressure's on and wins aren't coming, it becomes tough. But I think that's where you form relationships that help you get through that. And once you come through the struggle together, that's a bond that can't be broken. The ultimate bond, you've experienced it twice and then watched it here unfold 3 more times, is when you come through that, when there's lots of doubts, then you cash in ultimately with winning championships.
I couldn't agree with you more. I learned a lot more from the losses and those pains that teach you how to win, right? Now, you forget all the wins, but those losses that taught you how to win, those are the ones you remember.
Well, in my case, it's more than the losses. It's our decision making, right? So going back in my time in Sault Ste. Marie, Toronto, now here, you have mistakes, and when you're in management, the mistakes they showcase every night. So if you make a bad trade or a bad signing, or you let a player move on that goes elsewhere and has success, people don't forget that, nor should they, because we're paid very well to be in these positions, and those are the mistakes that we try to learn.
There we go. That's at least a little better.
Banged up a couple weeks ago. You go out and get P.O. Joseph.
There we go. Everything's back now. Penguins trying to play the puck on the right wing side of the zone. Wrist shot blocked by a Flyer and into the back netting. First 2 minutes and nothing really. Pierre-Olivier Joseph came back to the Penguins. He had 2 assists in 23 games this year with St. Louis. Played with Pittsburgh and Black Ace during the COVID season. COVID rotational in 147 games. Had 8 goals and 29 assists. Face off, won by the Penguins to the left side of Ersson. That one missed the net. It seems that the presence of Kyle Dubas is messing up the TV truck even more than it did in the first period. This is going spectacular. There we go. Still no score here in the second period. We're trying to find something that works. 16:40 left. Penguins bring for the right wing side in front, and that one was meant for Cody Glass. But nobody could get any sticks down for it. Rather, Drew O'Connor. That one rolls off the heel of a Flyer stick and into the bench. Finally. Face off to the right of Jari, fought for and won by the Penguins. Letang in the corner back to the right side of Jari, trying to clear it, but Sean Couturier is there to keep it in for the Flyers. Lawton trying to disturb Jari's sight line, but was shoved off the play by a Penguin. Flyers still keep it in, played around, and it's Noel Acciari using the body there. Couturier spinning it in front for Lawton, but it wouldn't sit. It went off the pad of Jari. Lawton again, right wing side. Low, Forrester looking in front. No Penguin, or rather no Flyers there before a Penguin was. Drysdale and the Penguins have Malkin up there pursuing on the forecheck. It almost leads to a 2-on-1 for the Flyers, but the home run pass was just out of reach of Mitchkov. Couple big hits. It seems that most of the hitting's happening right in front of Phil Bourque, somebody who took that physical role for the Pens in the 80s in this rivalry. Left side, great turning pass in front, scored! Hammered home. And that was Noah Cates. Owen Brink just kept Blake Lizotte to his back as he just slowly moved. Rather, Erik Karlsson to his back as he slowly moved in. And that pass, you really can't place it much better with that kind of defensive coverage by the Penguins. Both Raquel and Crosby on the left side there to block the pass in the middle. Still found its way, and the Flyers at least got one of the 3 that they need back. But the lucky sevens are out there for the Penguins as Russ about slammed one home to put the lead back to 3. Ahead it comes. Sanheim, left wing side. Great curl and drag for the Flyers, and Jari just decided to stand his ground. End over end it goes from the red line. Crosby was trying to beat one of the Flyers back there. The refs are going to say it was in question enough for it to not be icing, as they will there for Morgan Frost and Ryan Shea chasing for the puck. Graves up the left wing wall for the Penguins. Underneath a couple sticks, back it comes. Achari chopping it along for the Penguins, and now it becomes a 5-man scrum for the puck. Matt Nieto a part of that. Jamie Drysdale pinning Blake Lizotte to the wall. Still hacking away at it there. Eventually comes loose for Achari, and he went back to the point for Ryan Graves, who was coming in to support the play along the wall. And then again, about had it poked through his feet there by Cates. Rather Frost, not Cates. That one's going to be played around at the point. Brink looks right side. Drysdale couldn't get his stick down to do anything with that. Penguins reset in front of Jari. Going to be Ryan Shea at the red line. Shea is going to wind that one around. Right side wall takes a good roll for Beauvillier, and that one missed the net. On its side, it was shot by Tomasino, and he went high with it. And that's going to be on there tonight. So as Joseph gets back defensively. Sorry, the Penguins broadcast misspelled Cates, as in the Flyer who scored, Noah Cates. And we'll get the scoring summary after the next stoppage of play. 4 players go for the puck again. It was Beauvillier back there. Tomasino was his reinforcement. Now Forrester trying to get a step for the Flyers. Toe pick just inside the blue, and it's going to bring a 3-on-3 for the Penguins. Tomasino, good hit there by Couturier on the right wing to try and knock the puck away. Cody Glass gets his stick down as Penguins try to get their second line out there with Malkin and Bunting. Malkin's there. Bunting is not. But with Grzelcyk knocking the puck down, he might be on there any second now, and he is, with Tomasino heading to the bench. Behind the net, Harrison, or rather O'Connor's still out there. Penguins seem to be caught mid-line change here, and the Flyers just can't get enough separation to take advantage of it. Rolling to the right wing wall, Forrester. Toe picking again is Graves. Rather Grzelcyk. Bunting stabs it to open ice where the Penguins can clear it out to center. Back up through the middle come the Flyers on the right wing wall. Brink moves it low. Forrester shadowed by Malkin. I'm pointing this out about halfway through the first as that one's kicked away by Jari, and the Penguins are able to put up with it enough. 71-71 seems to be what Sullivan and Tortorella both want, as the puck rolled just lazily enough on the stick of O'Connor at center. No icing call. Backhand shoveled in the air by Drysdale. In it comes for the Flyers. It took a semi-friendly bounce, but nothing too advantageous as the Penguins can get back there defensively, clear it, and they do. Crosby trying to get the puck here on the forecheck. The outstretched reach of Brian Rust, able to create a situation for players to try and dig and chip and hack. 5, now 6 doing that. The Penguins' entire forward line was out there trying to pick the puck loose, but the Flyers still get it anyways. Trying to cut through the middle defensively was Raquel. The Flyers bring it in on the right wing side. Back behind the net, goes under a Flyer stick to Chris Letang. Chipped ahead for Crosby. He had separation earlier tonight, rather Lizotte. They both had separation and missed the net earlier in this game as we approached the halfway mark. Second period going fast. Happens when you have no penalties. Also happens when you have 1 goal compared to 5 combined in this period. Ahead it comes, right wing side. Penguins trying to get something going there with Achari, who leaves it for Matt Nieto at the right wing wall. Turning to the point for Shea, goes off a Flyer, sticking back to center. Ryan Graves trying his best to plot an exit strategy. He just chunks it to center ice, and it's taken by Achari. Left wing is Nieto, who couldn't get a centering pass to go. Now Owen Tippett, speedster, flying through the middle, has the angle on Graves with a wrist shot, missed the net. It beat Jari, but it couldn't fit inside the cage. That one rolled back to the right point, and a save made on Drysdale. Drysdale and Zamula seem to be getting a lot more time as this game goes along defensively for the Flyers. Centering pass, Slotton trying to tuck it 5-hole, nothing there. Drysdale, saved by Jari. Flyers trying everything to crack the case of Tristan Jari. They've gotten one back. They need two more. Pittsburgh Penguins, every point matters. They and the Flyers are the two teams on the outside looking in for the wild card. Penguins 3 behind of both Tampa Bay, who's playing Florida, and the Ottawa Senators. Flyers 4 behind. You mentioned the one overtime loss is the only thing that separates these two in terms of record. Halfway through the second period, that one's going to be junked down. Flyers have the angle, but Ersson came out of the net to play it, so no icing. And it might cost them with Rust there on the forecheck. Pretty good for the Flyers there, as they were able to clear it back out to center with the help of Travis Konechny. With 40 points on the season entering tonight, has not factored into either goal for Philadelphia yet. That one's going to be thrown back to center. Grzelcyk overskated, so the Flyers have a 3-on-2 with a great shot and a better save by Jari. Got all the way out there with the lower body to get there, but the Flyers still have it. Sanheim couldn't get it to lift. And it will be cleared by the Penguins, and with York having the angle, no icing. Penguins, not a shot on goal yet in the second period, despite a few really solid opportunities offensively. It has been all Philadelphia to this point with 7 shots on net. Puck went out of play, and a good catch in the third row. Stoppage of play. So, Flyers' second goal of the game. Noah Cates' 6th of the year from Brink and Cam York. There you go. Bobby Brink. It was listed as, for some reason, it was listed as Owen Brink on Daily Faceoff today. Not even the first time we've seen something like that. Back to play, a little bit of a stoppage there as the wrist shot goes wide of the net. Love side of Earson. 9 minutes left here in the second. Still 4-2. Didn't miss anything with me forgetting to put the scoreboard back up here. Flyers play behind the net. It's going to be Nick Seeler finally seeing some time out there tonight for Philadelphia. But nothing much. The puck just... Yeah, that might explain it. Nobody knew where it was. It's because it hit the stanchion at the end of the Penguins bench and came back into play. All right, well, I guess we got to have some slowdown somehow this period. Michael Bunting, one of the old Matt Cook nose fillers there. Pretty much means that might have taken a stick up high, didn't get called. Just, things happen. Things happen, basically. Second period, the Penguins finally got credit with a shot on net. That last shot apparently tipped off the glove of Earson. It's their first shot this period with 8:20 left. Penguins try and get out of their own end, but are pinched off by Rasmus Ristolainen on the right side, and the Flyers are offsides. The puck exited the zone. The last Flyer, that being Owen Tippett, did not. Face-off, won by the Flyers. Face-offs are almost dead even. 13-11 in favor of the Penguins. Carlson tried to shovel it up on the backhand side, but the Flyers were able to keep it in. Drysdale missed the net from the right point. Point to point again for the Flyers. Drysdale playing keep away with Zamula. Back down low it comes for Frost, who takes the cross check, and so does Grzelcyk for Pittsburgh to make the play, but Frost keeps it in. Backhand turn styled, and Zamula missed the net. Takes a friendly bounce for the Flyers, and the Flyers trying to play a pinball lock, seemingly to keep the puck in, but they do not. As Noel Achari had it go under the stick of a Flyer and out. They're going to say because a Flyer could have reached it, no icing. We've had only 2 icing calls in 1 offside, or 2 offside stoppages in this game. And I don't know if there's power issues in Pittsburgh or what, because the bay lights keep going out, the truck keeps getting...
Stark with the victory team driver's earlier exit from the race. Meanwhile, F1 Atlantic's British driver himself has battled back from 14th and now passes his teammate Benevente, moving into 8th place.
Yeah, that might...
The 2 F1 Atlantic teammates...
There we go. Backhand around by the Penguins. We're just having a bunch of problems. Bunch of them with the lights. Penguins come in on a 3-on-2. Apparently, some of the lights towards the upper bowl are having problems. I thought I saw a couple flickers above Tortorella's head on the bench. Couturier bringing it in for the Flyers. Score! That one banked in off the inside of Jari's left leg and in the net. It's just a power move by Sean Couturier. And that it hugged the ice the entire time. It's Couturier's 7th of the year. And that's got to be one, if you're Tristan Jarry, you have to have. Whether it's with the stick or the pads, you have to have it. Graves brings it in for the Penguins at the left point. That one wired high of the net. Now it's going to be a 4-on-2 for Philadelphia. Headed up by Konechny. Drops it back down. Konechny from Brink. Back to Konechny behind the net. Zamula playing screener. Ristolainen, shoulder down by Jari. Bunting's going to chop at it. But Ristolainen keeps it at the left point. Goes off the skate of Bunting to a Penguin. And the home run pass for Malkin misses. Tyson Forster drops it back there for Igor Zamula with 6 minutes left in the second. Flyers try and exit the zone. Takes them a couple tries, but after a pair of false starts, they are able to get it out. Penguins trying to get out of their own zone, and a big hit along the wall there from Garnet Hathaway. The puck did come out, though, so it's offsides Philadelphia with 5:45 left in the second. Flyers are crawling their way back. Penguins with a fun story about Philip Tomasino. Grew up a Penguins fan. So, have to look into where he's from. Again, he's one of the newer players on this team, despite scoring his 4th goal of the season tonight. So, that would be fun. Face-off won by the Flyers. Puck still stuck at center ice, though. Anthony Beauvillier and Tomasino being rather stingy defensively for the Penguins. Flyers trying to play it along the right wing wall, but it moves out anyways along the left, and the Penguins are able to move it ahead. Tomasino with the shovel. Flyers want offsides, will not get it. Tomasino's idol player was Sidney Crosby, and growing up in Mississauga, Ontario. That kind of explains why. And we have another. Pittsburgh's TV truck is having a night, basically. It's a home game, and they've had 3 bouts of downtime from their production truck tonight. Left side, played at the point by the Flyers. Nothing's going to go there. Ahead it comes on the left wing wall is Brian Rust. Nothing quite working there behind the net for the Penguins, as the Flyers, I believe, caught on to the Penguins' offensive setups. They've limited them to 2 shots this entire period. Penguins trying their best to play the puck down into the Philadelphia end. Ristolainen's going to clear this one for the Flyers, go corner to corner. Icing called as Ryan Shea had the angle. 2 shots on this in this period for Pittsburgh, 12 for Philadelphia. If you want the reason for the Flyers being in this game, that is it. Face off. Tied up, and the Flyers were able to win it and turn it around. But Penguins keeping in at the right point with the help of Ryan Shea. Malkin and Bunting trying to play there on the forecheck. Ryan Graves pinched up, and Travis Konechny is about making him regret that. 2-on-2, Lawton and Konechny. Lawton, save made. Flyers still keep it in right point, trying to get a good bounce. Ryan Shea chops a rolling puck from the center of the zone to the corner, where the Penguins can at least get some defensive stability. Trying to chop it away is Drew O'Connor, tumbling in the process. Malkin, or rather Bunting, tried to throw it for Malkin, and it only amounts to a 5-player logjam, which the Flyers win with Couturier. In comes Tippett, trying to give some reinforcement, but nothing working there. Malkin looked for the home run pass to Bunting. He hit him, but about a stride off sides. .320 left in the second period. It's going to be a very fun Christmas for those of you in the sports world. Not only do you have the NBA, you have 2 NFL games, making up for the lack of baseball and hockey. Although I'm sure if you like them, there's going to be more than enough people streaming that night. So, Penguins win the face-off. They are able to clear it out to center ice, and the clock runs down to 3 minutes left in the period. It took a very pro Pittsburgh bounce towards Blake Lizotte, who couldn't get the puck to sit down. Pass for Lizotte, barely onside was Achari, back behind the net, and players stacking up and falling down. 1 Flyer, 1 Penguin. A Flyer falls over his own man, but as the puck lazily rolls back towards Tristan Jarry, nothing comes of that. Carlson, trying to dance his way in, used Lizotte as his own shield to get into the Flyer zone, but it didn't quite work out there. 2-on-2 for Philadelphia. Comes to a halt as the puck followed in Rasmus Ristolainen and Ryan Poehling for an offsides. For John Tortorella, that first intermission talking to must have been not something. And Flyers fans of a certain age probably know what it entails from the build to the 2012 Winter Classic between then Tortorella's New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers of Peter Laviolette. 2:10 left. The Penguins trying to get numbers here on a 2-on-2. Crosby trying to get positioning on Ristolainen, and he does with a backhand shot that goes wide of the net. Russ trying to play it behind the net, looked for Raquel, but under his stick. Flyers have a 3-on-2, now a 2-on-2, as the rest of the team goes for a change. It's pretty much up to Joel Farabee to kill time. He does as Tyson Forrester gets back there, but is knocked off the puck by a Penguin. Crosby lays it up there. On the 9-iron shot, it gets to Brian Rust, though. Rust behind the net going for a backhand shot, paddled away by Erson, who covers with 1:40 left. Minute 40 left. Glass on the draw for the Penguins. He's going to win it to the right side of it, or to the left side of Erson. Point to point. Graves low. Tried to go for a calculated bounce to Malkin, who got cross-checked. Again, outside of 2 holding calls, we have not seen a single penalty in this game. Right point. Shot. Missed the net. That was Carlson, and it just couldn't find its way. Carlson back to center. Malkin barely tagged up. Bunting open with a half shot. Scored! The hash marks. In it went. And Bunting got the jump right at the edge of the left wing circle, just below the hash marks. Just let it fly, and that's his second goal on the night. That brings his total up to 9 on the season. Malkin and Carlson, I believe, will be the ones credited with the assists on that. As the Penguins take... Oh, okay, that's why I'm hitting the wrong thing. A 2-goal lead again, 5-3. Oh, I joked to a couple of people it'd be a 7-5 Flyers win, but man, if that happens now, that would go down somewhat befittingly for this rivalry with some huge swings in momentum throughout its history. Couturier tried to feather it for Lawton, nothing going there. Tippett, 38 seconds left in this period. Went for the centering pass, got knocked down, and the Penguins are able to meet the red line with Matt Nieto and clear it down. Ristolainen, 25 seconds left. Flyers looking to muster one last rush. Off the back wall it goes. That one will be ultimately harmless as the Penguins just clear it out again. Raquel this time lifts it in the air off the tall glass. Russ plays it off the carom, and it's a 4-person scrum for it now. Cates and Crosby getting a little bit physical to the right side behind the net. Crosby with a little shrug to Cates, and that's going to end the second period. 5-3 Pittsburgh. Enjoy a Duke Silver Christmas during the second intermission. With the 5-3 Penguins lead, it is their first look at Alexei Kolosov in net for the Flyers. .878 save percentage on the season. John Tortorella trying to do anything there after giving up the late goal to inspire the troops. Try to tie this game up. Penguins Flyers have had a lot of fantastic finishes since the Penguins moved into PPG Paints Arena back in 2010. Maybe, just maybe, another one might be in the works tonight. Close finishes, nothing new to this rivalry. In fact, the first meeting involving Sidney Crosby was a 6-5 Flyers overtime win. And one of the shared players between these two franchises, there's a pretty hefty list of them, got his first NHL goal in that game, that being Maxime Talbot. Got a goal which, on a draw and clear, after tying up on the faceoff with Peter Forsberg of all people, just outside of the Penguins' defensive zone, just threw it down the ice with reckless abandon, and it bounced its way in on Intero Dedemaki. For that tale, we start the third period, and I'm realizing I have seconds still on the screen. Flyers trying to move the puck away from the right side, trying to move the puck towards the middle of the zone on the right wing side. Took a couple of attempts, they finally do. Trying to turn it back up ice is Michael Bunting. Looking for Cody Glass, goes off escape. Bunting in front for Glass, and that one rolls off the blocker of Kolosov and wide of the net. Pretty interesting stat. It's Michael Bunting's first multi-goal game with the Penguins. His first multi-goal game since February 18th, 2023, when he was with the Maple Leafs against the Montreal Canadiens. He still does not have a career hat trick in the NHL, does Michael Bunting. He's one away from that tonight. Sidney Crosby, in terms of important milestones, who's out there right now, tied Mario Lemieux for most assists in Penguins franchise history with 1033. Playing it back at his own blue line is Igor Zamula for the Flyers, trying to find Tyson Foerster, goes under his stick. So Pierre-Olivier Joseph will throw it ahead for Matt Nieto. Penguins trying to get the fourth line out there. Lizotte trying to get back there defensively for the Penguins. Owen Tippett ahead for the Flyers. At the goal line, Konechny goes back around, has Morgan Frost with it. Seems like the lines are going to be thrown into a popcorn machine now for the Flyers as they, again, try and do anything here to tie the game back up. They had a 1-1 tie at a point in the first, but it has been mostly Pittsburgh since then. Backhand play ahead by Achari. It's knocked down. Nieto in front, open cage. What a save by Kolosov. Oh, he got over with the glove and robbed Matt Nieto with an open net. Achari with great pass placement and Kolosov with great anticipation. Here come the Flyers back the other way. Going to be Paling, the former Penguin, bringing it in, but getting stripped off the puck by Ryan Shea. Tomasino bringing it ahead for the Penguins, 3-on-3, back to the Flyers zone. Penguins try to go wide, the Flyers collapsed low, and the Flyers win that battle of strategies. Flyers gained their own blue, trying to gain the Pittsburgh blue, but nothing going there as they were held up in front of about halfway mark of the Pittsburgh bench. And they zoomed in, you can see Mike Vellucci back there. That's about where they were on the ice. Erik Karlsson just trying to kill some time. That's the benefit of having a goal for every 3 shots. 5 goals on 15 shots on it for the Penguins is that you can try and kill the clock. behind the net. It's going to be backhanded by Zamula, hoisted aloft, but the Flyers, after a couple of blocks, eventually give up as Evgeny Malkin's able to get it out of their own defensive end on the left wing for the Penguins. Scott Laughton, he's going to bring it through center. Gets wide base on Sidney Crosby. Pretty uncommon to see that. Might be why Laughton's had quite a few points against the Penguins over the years. High in the air, Crosby chips it up for Rust, but Rust was offside. And I have to see this again. Achari back, Nieto just fanned on it, and Kolosov got over, hit the tip of his glove, back off the top of his skate, and back to the corner. Matt Nieto still sporting the mustache here almost to the new year. Wonder if he lost the bet for November. Up the left wing side comes Raquel, and that went off the crossbar and into the netting, out of play. Just barely fine-tuned it, but Kolosov has seemingly had some really good anticipation inside of the crease. They'll have to keep it on with the face-off to the right side. Flyers go to tie it up, but the Penguins still win it clean. Point to point it comes over to the wing. Raquel with a shot and a save by Kolosov, who's able to hold on with his glove. Rather, Rust, left wing side. Stat of the night. Who is the only player to get a series-winning goal for both the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers? At one player, Rick Tocchet. Ironically enough, he had the series-winning goal in 1989 for the Flyers against the Penguins, and then would score the eventual series-winning goal against the New York Rangers in 1992 after being traded to Pittsburgh in a 3-team trade. Pretty interesting. We have another offsides, well, almost had an offsides there by Pittsburgh as Brian Rust was ahead of the play defensively. Stanheim playing it through center ice, looking to the right side. Cates had that one roll up and got blasted in front of the Penguins bench. He is still slow to get up. Is that Ryan Graves that came over there and just pasted him to the wall? Yeah, that was a big hit. Rather, that wasn't Cates, that was Ryan Poehling. And now a bit of a crowd in front of the penalty box. Konechny, and it was Noel Acciari that laid the hit. I thought there was a 5 in there. It was Noel Acciari, and the Flyers aren't too pleased with it. Poehling goes for a pass for Frost, or rather for Farabee, and Acciari just had to stick down and went right through him. That's a good hit. Icing on Pittsburgh. Welcome back, Ryan Poehling. Noel Acciari. I mean, it seems those two are always on opposite ends of a rivalry. Acciari in Toronto and Boston, while Poehling was on Montreal. I mean, they like playing against each other, seemingly. Mac behind the net. Lizotte trying his best to pick the puck aside for a Penguins play there, but Couturier comes back defensively for the Flyers to negate it. Lizotte still playing well. Puck goes off the foot of a Flyer. Lizotte gets it, but it rolls outside the zone. As Matt Nieto was going in there too, trying to chip the puck away, trying to make up for missing what was pretty close to an open net earlier in this period. 14:40 left in regulation time. Penguins up 5-3. Rolling puck, Laughton missed the net. Backhanding it, Erik Karlsson. Evgeny Malkin cuts back defensively to help out, but Couturier stuffs the clearing attempt from Malkin on the backhand. Karlsson just deciding to milk the clock here. Use Brian Russ as a screen so the Penguins get new bodies out on the ice, and they do. Crosby able to just fling that one from the blue line over to the opposite corner. 14 minutes left here in regulation. Penguins trying to get something going there offensively, and Russ about got caught between a rock and a hard place trying to move the puck by the Flyer blue. Back in it comes. Chris Letang back on defense for the Penguins. Will play that one to Russ. Goes wing to wing for Raquel at center. Raquel goes low for Crosby. Just shy of the goal line. Crosby trying to do his best to play keep away on the right side, using one of the officials to help him out. Raquel to open ice, and it's shifted back to him again by Joseph, and it's lifted off of Raquel's stick by a Flyer and out to center. That was Zamula again. Bobby Brink able to play it back into his own section of ice. Flyers trying to exit their own zone in a game that's mostly been the Flyers' attack here, with Pittsburgh getting some really good looks and burying them. It's starting to become Pittsburgh getting the ball rolling here in the third. Crosby playing good defense there, shadowing a Flyer. Nick Seeler back at the left point for Philadelphia. Tried to force it through, but it's knocked down by Crosby again. Crosby trying to get away from Owen Tippett and at least get to center so the Penguins can get fresh legs on the ice. That is exactly what they do. They're going to get that fourth line back out there again. Here come the Flyers with a 3-on-2 the other way. Onsides with a shot. That one missed the net. It was Tippett and deflected on the way through by a Penguin stick. Don't think it'll count as a shot on net. At least for now, it doesn't. Clearing attempt, and I guess they are going to say that Sanheim could have gotten to it, so Beauvillier takes advantage for the Penguins. Back behind the net. Drew O'Connor. Man, that top of the glass camera is not good for live action. Konechny went back for Drysdale, rolls off of his stick, but just in the nick of time is Sean Couturier to swing this one through. Try to be a one-man wrecking crew for the Flyers as his wrist shot goes off Olivier Joseph's leg and out. You want to know what this rivalry is about? Blake Lizotte taking a big hit by Scott Lawton. The response, Noel Acciari steamrolled Ryan Poehling. Hit counter tonight, 22 for Philadelphia, 19 for Pittsburgh. And most of them have been big hits, as usual, when these two teams square off. Face-off to the right of Jari is won by the Flyers and then fought for at the left point, with the Penguins eventually maintaining control. Up through center it comes. Little too much sauce in that pass from Carlson, but it went off the stick of a Flyer, so no icing. In fact, they're going to bring it 2-on-2 the other way before outskating themselves, having Matt Grzelcyk chop it away. Over into a neutral corner. Grzelcyk and Joseph out there, at least for a small bit. Now Letang's on the ice. 11:10 to go here in regulation. I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication on the lines there for the Penguins, because now they're starting to get some of the right people out there. Crosby up there on the forecheck, trying to chop it away from Drysdale. That didn't quite work at the first attempt, but Drysdale's able to just float that one in. Tippett trying to knock it down for Philadelphia. That one rolls under the stick of Cam York. He's going to try and box out Brian Russ and does a good enough job where Ryan Poehling can get the puck. Poehling tried to clear. It's knocked down by Carlson. Left point shot. Save by Kolosov off the tip of his skate. Carlson with a rolling puck at the right point. And a glove goes sliding of his Poehling's and was across the ice there. He lost his glove at one point in that play and still did a pretty good job defensively to clog one of the lanes. Back behind the net it comes. Thrown around by the Flyers. Penguins got a couple hops on that rush, but nothing that did anything their way. Flyers trying to clear it. Halfway through the third period here. 10 minutes left. Penguins behind the net. It's this fourth line still trying to get some space and separation. Zamula, Nieto, Cates, Lizotte, Sealer all around the puck. It eventually goes to none of them. From the point, that one's popped up high in the air, and Achari tried to backhand sweep it, but nothing went for the Penguins to go off of Kolosov. Couple of really good opportunities here in the third for the Penguins. Just haven't gotten it to go yet. The Flyers, despite a couple of great saves, just can't find any momentum. Malkin with a wrist shot from the right wing circle and a save made by Kolosov with 9:20 left. We're going to get another little quick break as Michkov and his countryman Malkin butting heads a little bit. There you go. Penguins just showed Andrew McCutcheon. He announced this afternoon that he will be staying in Pittsburgh. 1 year, $5 million deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So fans absolutely love that. And McCutchen loves Pittsburgh too. So no real shock there. 8:40 left in the third period. Flyers starting to bring the attack from the right wing side. Save made. Still rolling. Sanheim got all of that one, but it went wide of the net thanks to the massive jerseys in front. Sanheim still playing it around again. Try to drop it for Farabee. Now he does. In front for Lawton. Save. Jari still rolling all over the place. Instead, it's blocked by Cody Glass. Cleared out to center, which gives him just enough time to reset. And a big hit by Chris Letang. Letang at the blue line got Konechny, and he got him good. Shoulder to shoulder. Both of them go off the ice after that. That's how you end a shift if you're a defenseman. Puck still rolling for Konechny. I guess Konechny didn't leave the ice. Was that Forrester that got hit? I guess it was. It had to be if Konechny's out there. Penguins get a 2-on-2 now, started by Crosby and Raquel. But that one went nowhere fast. Raquel off the leg of a Flyer as the Penguins get reinforcements at the point, which Raquel was trying to force the puck to in the name of his countryman Erik Karlsson. And Karlsson throws it back to behind the net to Crosby, who one-hands it along. Grzelcyk over to the right wing corner. Raquel trying everything he can to box out Scott Lawton. Rust backed his way into Sean Couturier. Right point, Karlsson still moving. Right wing circle, Rust with a save made by Kolosov. Good rush for Pittsburgh, and you saw the fan. If you're watching the game, you saw the fans get up after that hit by Letang. He does not throw them that often, and he normally doesn't hit the ones that he does throw that much. That's a pretty good example of every reaction has an opposite reaction to it. Good hit by Letang on the already roving in Tyson Forrester. And that kind of added a little juice to the building for the Penguins here. The Flyers really have outplayed them, but a couple lucky defensive bounces and Tristan Jarry's saves have kept this a 2-goal Penguin lead. Back at the point, trying to lift it in there was Nick Seeler. Couldn't get anything to go there. Zamula trying to cut through the middle for the Flyers, and he did for a moment there before having it pitchforked by Malkin. Cleared out by the Penguins, left wing side. It's going to be flipped over end to the corner. Glass in there. Malkin with reinforcement. Sanheim on Malkin. Rather, Zamula on Malkin. Sanheim on Glass, who back in that one to the front. And nothing doing there for the Penguins. 3-on-2 for the Flyers, but it's too wide. Letang was able to park himself along with POJ to knock it away. Malkin to Rust. Penguins still need to tag up to avoid the offside whistle, and barely Michael Bunting gets back onside. 5:40 left in regulation time. Penguins up 5-3. Flyers tried a right side entry, but Sidney Crosby was there defensively to keep that one from moving. Passes around under Penguin sticks and iced with 5:25 left as Cam York got back for Philadelphia. I really hope the Penguins broadcast shows that hit by Chris Letang again. That was a good, solid, clean shoulder check by a defenseman known more for his mobility than anything else. Face-off to the right of Jarry is won by the Penguins. Raquel looks for Rust. Popped up high into the air. It about hit the scoreboard. Comes out the feet of Sidney Crosby. And Noel Acciari now trying to gingerly ski his way through the Penguin or through the Flyer defense. Lawton turns it the other way for the Flyers. Wrister by Drysdale misses the net. 5 minutes left in regulation time. Backhander across. Flyers trying to set back up Drysdale with another shot. That one goes right through the goal mouth. They're threatening here the Philadelphia Flyers offensively, and it's Konechny who has it now. Konechny with 41 points on the season. He could sure use his 17th goal of the year right now. And the Flyers, pretty much a shooting gallery out there, but they can't get it through the sea of black, whether that's Jarry or the Penguins defense. Take your pick. And offsides is Sanheim. One last shoveling of the ice, and I was wrong on both the counts. It was Garnet Hathaway who got launched by Letang. Four and a half minutes left in regulation. Flyers trying to bring a 3-on-2 wing side rush. Didn't quite work there. Tyson Forster. They're starting to play almost a power play style offense. And it hasn't gotten them a goal yet as it causes an offsides with 4:12 left. Nothing quite like holiday hockey, is it? Tortorella, Sullivan, both barking orders, trying to get their men in order for the next face-off. Because the offsides was done by Philadelphia, the Penguins get to choose which dot the draw happens in. Face-off won by the Flyers, and there goes Kolosov to the bench. With 4 minutes left, the Flyers are going to pull their goaltender. They need two, so I don't really, I'm not going to question it. Let's put it that way. Konechny trying to bring that one ahead over to the right side. The Flyers without a single power play tonight. Fifth worst with a man advantage in hockey. Sanheim at the right point. That one's going to be blocked away in front. Letang trying to get it. Chips it up into the air. Still rolling. Penguins with a foot race. Deflected wide of the net. Travis Sanheim. If the Flyers tie the game here, even if they don't, that deserves some merit. Sanheim hoofed it back there to make sure Raquel couldn't slam it in the open net. Penguins trying to clear again. 3:20 left here in regulation time. Left side Flyers air it in. It's seemingly going to be Couturier as the lone forechecker for the Flyers. Now he gets some reinforcement. Flyers were in the middle of a change. It's Owen Tippett helping him out. Towing it along the line is Drysdale. Shot, caught, save. Rolling puck, and it was, Russ, not Raquel, trying to go for it as the Flyers go with a rather late line change here. To be fair, so do the Penguins. As Nieto gets pulled from the ice here for this draw. That is going to be Cody Glass. Flyers win it anyways. 3 minutes left. At the point is Drysdale, looking right wing side. Flyers going with a 1-4-1 alignment here at the man advantage. left wing side. At the circle is Tippett. Wrist shot deflected into the tall netting behind Tristan Jarry off the stick of Noel Achari. .252 left, and Penguins are going to bring on the first line again. Grzelcyk defensively, so that means it's going to be Grzelcyk and Carlson there for Pittsburgh to try and combat the Flyers. In the middle of the scrum, it's a 6-person log jam. Everybody poking and prodding at the puck like a Yuletide log. Flyers get it out there to the left, to the right point with 2:30 left. That one's going to be knocked away. Sidney Crosby scored. He took over the first period. He tied Mario's record for assists. His family's in from Cole Harbor. It just wouldn't be a Penguin Flyer game without a Sidney Crosby goal. And with 2:30 left, that's exactly what they get. His 10th of the season. And Crosby's 10th goal of the season. If I'm not mistaken, his 4th point of the evening. Penguins win the draw, and I would be very shocked now at this point if Kolosov comes out of the net again. We'll have a full scoring and penalty summary at the end of the game, as that one gets deflected into the crowd. For once, one that doesn't hit netting or go into a bench. Two minutes left. I mean, Sidney Crosby just absolutely incredible. Single games, just for reference, he had a 4-point game on February 25th against the Flyers. He had a 2-assist game on April 2nd, 2023 against the Flyers. Goal and an assist in overtime on February 15th, 2022 against Philadelphia. Open up the new year against Philadelphia on January 6th in 2022 with 2 assists. I mean, Crosby against the Flyers is about as potent a player versus team combination as you can get. Minute 35 left. The fans that want to try and beat the traffic are starting to leave, knowing exactly how this looks like it's going to be. Got a little hairy there with some of the Flyers' offensive plays there at the end of it all. And, well, it's going to turn out to be a Penguin win. Sidney Crosby tonight. I mean, just another fantastic night and a career full of milestones, especially with what he's meant to the Penguins organization here. This one's going to be played around. Minute left in regulation time. 6-3 Pittsburgh. Coming through the middle are the Flyers. One last rush. It's Frost bringing it forward. A couple Penguins tumble. And we're going to have no stoppage of play there. Thought for sure there was going to be a hook called on the Flyers, but this late doesn't really matter. Coming through center is Frost again. Has Farabee behind him. Rather, Michikov behind him. Some of the terrible towels get out in Pittsburgh as that one's going to go off the crossbar and wide from Owen Tippett. I mean, that's been the Flyers' luck tonight. Beating Jarry, but not the net. O'Connor back. We have an arm up and we have a hook, and it's going to be on Philadelphia. Who's it going to be on? All right, Crosby's 4-point night gives him 133 against Philadelphia on his career. Again, that's if the Penguins don't score off the draw on this power play. Truly amazing. In just the regular season alone, Sidney Crosby, this is his 41st multi-point game against the Flyers. Is that one scored? Well, you don't even need the first unit. Ryan Shea may have his first goal of the season. See, Ryan Shea, half slapper, pinball. Yeah, that went off Blake Lizotte. It's Lizotte's goal. Blake Lizotte shoveled it in backhand with an open net. The Penguins ruthlessly efficient offensively. 7 goals on 22 shots. And mercifully for Philadelphia, this nightmare before Christmas has come to an end. The Pittsburgh Penguins win it 7-3. The first guy down there almost shoving Ersson out of the way was Tortorella. And that is the first, this is a Pittsburgh Penguin record. In 353 games, this is the first game where the Penguins did not take a single penalty. Could have certainly called them for a couple early on and a couple there late, but no penalty minutes against the Flyers for the first time in team history. History-making night for the Penguins, isn't it? Tristan Jarry gets the win. And Ersson will still be credited with the loss despite the 2 goals given up technically during Kolosov's time. One an empty netter, one actually by Kolosov. And before the end of this game, let's sprint very quickly through the goal-scoring sheet. In the first period, Brian Rust got the scoring started 90 seconds in with his 15th of the season from Sidney Crosby and Rickard Rakell. Igor Zamula, 2nd of the year for the Flyers from Ryan Poehling and Scott Laughton tied it up at 6-12. Then the Pittsburgh onslaught. 11:53 of the first. Rickard Rakell, 16th of the year from Brian Rust and Erik Karlsson. That came about 4 minutes after Rakell got a goal wiped out for being offsides. At 16:15, Michael Bunting took advantage of a Cam York holding penalty, got a power play marker, his 8th of the year from Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. 2 apples for Sid. Another holding penalty immediately on the draw after by Cam York. Philip Tomasino's 4th of the year, another power play mark for Pittsburgh. Sidney Crosby's 3rd assist of the night. Then, second period, Flyers got the ball rolling. Noah Cates scored his 6th of the year at 4:29 of the second from Bobby Brink and Cam York. Then Sean Couturier, the old reliable Penguin killer, 7th of the year at 13:06 from Travis Konecny and Scott Laughton. Laughton factoring into the Flyers' 3 goals. Then the Penguins got a late marker, Michael Bunting 2nd of the night from Malkin and Karlsson, each their 2nd assists on the night. Bunting's 9th of the year, his first multi-goal game in almost 2 years. In the third period, Sidney Crosby got an empty netter, 10th of the night, only his 4th 4-point or more game against the Flyers in his career. And then Blake Lizotte wired home a power play goal with 12 seconds remaining, his 8th of the year from Ryan Shea and Matt Nieto. Matt Nieto was without a point on the season when just 2 weeks ago, after a road trip to Canada and the Christmas time break, he has come back with a goal and an assist on the season. Pittsburgh wins this one 7-3. I don't know what the schedule is going to look like on Christmas or if there's any bowl games, but I do know that I will not be your conductor and commentator for those games because I'm going to be in Pittsburgh for Christmas. Have a happy holidays, everybody.